On a warm, sunny day, a little ant scurried about in search of food. The meadow was bursting with treasures, crumbs, seeds, and tiny morsels left behind by the creatures who had passed through. The little ant worked tirelessly, carrying one crumb at a time back to the anthill. It was a perfect day for gathering, and the ant felt proud of its hard work. As the hours passed, a cool breeze began to stir. The sky, once clear and bright, started to darken. Clouds gathered like a thick gray blanket, and the air grew heavy with the promise of rain. The older ants, sensing the change, began to hurry back to the safety of the hill. "The rain is coming," one called out to the little ant. "You should head back too." But the little ant was determined. "I just need one more crumb," it thought, spotting a particularly large piece of bread nearby. "This one will make my collection the best of all." Ignoring the warnings, the little ant scurried toward the crumb. It tugged and pulled until, finally, it managed to lift the heavy piece onto its back. Just as it turned to head home, the first raindrops began to fall. At first, they were gentle, but within moments, the sky opened up and a torrential downpour drenched the meadow. The little ant struggled as the crumb grew soggy and heavier with water. The ground, once firm and dry, turned to slippery mud, and the ant's tiny legs slid with every step. Then, disaster struck. The ant slipped and tumbled into a growing puddle, the crumb sinking into the muddy water. The little ant tried to climb out, but the puddle was too slippery and the rain too strong. Just as the ant began to lose hope, it heard a voice. "Hold on!" Turning its head, it saw an older ant from the colony braving the rain to come to its rescue. The older ant extended its legs, creating a bridge for the little ant to climb onto. With great effort, the two ants worked together to escape the puddle and find higher ground. "Why did you stay behind?" the older ant asked gently as they rested under a leaf. The little ant lowered its head. "I thought I could carry one more crumb. I wanted to collect as much as I could before the rain." The older ant nodded, but said, "There's nothing wrong with working hard, little one. But being prepared is more important than being greedy. Nature doesn't wait for us to finish. We must learn to stop and head for safety when the signs are clear." The little ant listened carefully, realizing its mistake. Together, they made their way back to the anthill, where the other ants welcomed them with relief. The storm raged outside, but inside the hill, the ants were warm, safe, and dry. From that day on, the little ant always kept an eye on the sky and listened to the wisdom of the older ants. It worked just as hard as before, but learned to recognize when it was time to stop. And though it didn't always carry the biggest load, it found greater joy in the safety of its home and the company of its friend. It's good to work hard, but it's also important to listen to warnings and be ready for changes, like rain or other dangers. Sometimes stopping and staying safe is the smartest thing to do. Stay smart like the ant. Subscribe for more fun adventures and lessons.